Hey everyone, me again. If you're new around here, my name's Alice and I make videos all about affordable beauty and fashion. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different and I wanted to talk about makeup that I really want to use up this year. So this isn't an original idea, I've actually seen a few people do this already. I saw Michaela from Miss Budget Beauty do this video, and I also saw Anna from the Anna Edit do a video like this as well, and I just thought it would be really interesting to do because I am on a low buy this year. So yeah, I just wanted to have a chat about some makeup that I would like to either use up completely or hit pan on, basically just get a little bit more use out of. And I've got everything in this little basket right here. So there's a couple of things that are going to be really easy for me to use up, and there's some others that are going to be a little bit more difficult, and we're just gonna have a chat about all of them. I'll go over a few things that I know without a doubt that I'm going to use up first. I have two mascaras that I go to time and time again, and I've mentioned them a few times on this channel. So there's one that I get from AliExpress, and then there's the Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. I have absolutely no doubts that I'm going to use these up. They're actually getting a teeny bit on the dry side already, so I'm probably going to have to replace them within the next couple of weeks, so that's really easy. There's also two concealers that I know that I'm going to get through as well. There's the Collection Illuminating Touch Concealer in Naked One. I use this as a colour corrector under my eyes, and I think this one is very close to running out already, so that's definitely going to run out soon. And there's the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 05, and I'm not far off from using up this one as well. I feel like every single time I apply this concealer, it's just taking a bit longer to kind of scrape around the edges just to get the remaining product out, so this isn't that far off either. And I'm also pretty confident that I'm going to use up the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in Taupe, because this is the only eyebrow pencil that I use now. So yeah, I do have a couple of oil primers as well. I feel like I'm cheating mentioning these because first of all, there's not really very much of this one left. So this is the Revolution Gold Elixir Rosehip Seed Oil. I think there's maybe one or two uses left maximum in this product. I'm right the way down to the end, so this doesn't have very long left at all. There's also the Revolution Baking Oil as well. It's quite a small bottle. There's a pretty good chance that I am going to use this. This is one of my favourite primers. I don't know if you're going to be able to see, but it's more than halfway gone. It's up to about here. So I think there's a good chance I could get this used up. This is a really lovely primer. I absolutely love oil primers because of my dry skin, especially underneath my eyes where my skin is a little bit drier. I can also use this by mixing it with liquid foundations as well. Maybe if they're a little bit more matte, if they're not sitting on my skin very comfortably, I can mix in a little bit of this just to give it a bit more of a dewy finish. And I guess I could even mix it with things like liquid blushes and stuff like that. I could get quite creative, but yeah, I'm quietly confident that I'm going to get this used up in 2020. There's a couple of other things in here that are going to be a bit easier to get through as well, just because I'm so close to the end, but they're still not products I use every single time I put my makeup on like those products are, so I'm still going to have to make a conscious effort to actually use them up. So a lot of things in my basket are actually base products. I feel like I try so many base products that it's really difficult for me to actually use stuff up just because I buy so many of them to try out. I do a lot of foundation reviews, as I'm sure you already know, so I feel like using any of them up completely is a bit of a challenge because I have so many, and I find that I'm always swapping them out at different times of the year just depending on what my skin is doing. So using one of them up is a very rare occasion, but I've got quite a few in here. So the first one is the BB cream from Kiko. This is their Daily Protection BB cream with SPF 30. This is actually a really nice BB cream, and I don't want to use it up to get rid of it. I just want to use it up because I know that I've already had this for about a year in my collection, and I just want to kind of get through it before it goes bad. It's really nice for days when I don't actually want to wear makeup, but I just want to even out my skin a little bit if I need to nip to Tesco or something. It's also really nice for layering with other products just on days when I do want to wear more makeup. You know, I can use this as a starting point and then just build up on certain areas with like a foundation stick or something. So there's a lot of ways I can use this, and especially if I throw this on when I'm having no makeup days, I think there's a good chance that I could actually use this up. It feels like there's quite a bit of it left Even though I do actually use this a lot, it still feels like I've got quite a bit of product, so we'll see how I do, but it would be really interesting to use this up in 2020. And then I've also got some foundation sticks as well. So the first one is discontinued. This is from L'Oreal. This is their Infallible Longwear Shaping Stick, and mine is in the shade 80. So you can still get this product on Amazon, but you can't get this particular shade. I feel like I've been holding on to it and trying to use it sparingly just because I do really genuinely love this product. So yeah, I do just want to get this used up before it expires. It's a really nice, beautiful pale colour. At this time of year, it's a little bit pale for me just because I've got so much skin redness. I really need to use a darker foundation just to even things out and help my skin a bit. But I could still use this. I could use this to like brighten up the centre of my face. Again, if I use my imagination, if I mix this with other products, I could still use this up because I've only got that much left. There's not very much of it left at all. So I could get this used up. I just need to make a conscious effort to actually incorporate this into my makeup routine and use it with my other products. And then there's another foundation stick that, again, there's nothing wrong with this product, it's just that I've had this in my collection for a while and I want to get it used up before it expires. So this is the Revolution Fast Base Foundation Stick. I've featured this in a few videos and I also have a dedicated review of this as well. I really enjoy this product. It's really lovely for dry skin if you need a good amount of coverage very, very quickly. I'm actually really surprised that I haven't used it up already just because of how much I love it. There's not much left at all, like that's all the product that's left. But I think the reason I haven't used this up yet is because I also have another shade. I have the shade up from this. So this is the shade F1. I also have F2. F2 I use a little bit more nowadays because it's easier to build up a darker foundation over skin redness, which is the main thing I use this product for. So like I said with the L'Oreal foundation stick, I can see myself using this up, I just need to make a bit of a conscious effort to actually do it. I could perhaps use this on the centre of my face and then use F2 around the outside and on areas of redness and kind of blend it all together. There's definitely ways that I could make this product work. It's all about just making that effort to actually remember to use it, really. I think that's the whole message behind this video. I just need to be a bit more creative about using up products. So I know quite a few of the products so far have had so little product left that it's not really much of a challenge. But trust me, the next two products are going to make up for that. So these are base products as well. They're both twist up products. I've got a contour stick and I've got a blush stick. So I'll talk about the contour stick first. This one is actually from Primark and it's actually quite a good product. It's actually quite a good contour stick. It's just that obviously they don't make this anymore. Most Primark makeup is limited edition, so I can't really mention it in videos and therefore I kind of forget to use it in my normal day-to-day makeup. You can see right here, it's a really good shade, really nice cool tone. It looks quite dark, but once you blend it out, it's actually not that scary at all. It just kind of dissolves into almost nothing. And it makes a really nice natural shadow. So it's something that I definitely should use more than I do. You can see there's quite a bit of product left, but you hardly need any of it. That's the thing, a little bit goes a very long way. So that's where the challenge comes in. But yeah, I would like to get this used up. The packaging is quite damaged. This was a fairly cheap product and it's got fairly cheap packaging, but I would like to just use this up when I'm just doing my daily everyday makeup off camera. I think it's a really good product for that. So yeah, I would like to get through this. I don't know if I'll finish it completely, but I'd definitely like to make a bit more progress and just get through more of the product. It says it's got a 24-month expiry date on here. I don't know how long I've had this for. I feel like I've probably had this for at least a year, so I probably should get a move on and get through a bit more product. And then my cream blush is going to be even more difficult to use up because I hardly ever reach for cream blush. I just find it really difficult to work with. But this is one of my favourite cream blushes, so I thought if I was going to use up one of them and put it in my Project Pan video, it should be this one. So this is the Kiko Velvet Blush Stick, and this is in the shade 08. It's a really beautiful mauve colour. It's a very me kind of shade, you'll see what I mean there. Pinky brown, mauve-ish colour. Really, really lovely. Again, looks quite scary, but blends out into a much softer shade. This one's going to be a little bit more challenging to use up because it's quite pigmented. You hardly need any product to get a good look out of this. and also there's quite a bit of product left, so considering how little product you need, I feel like this is actually going to last me quite a long time. But I do want to try and get through it. I find cream blush really difficult to use just because I have so much skin redness. I do layer up foundation quite a bit, and I often find that cream blush does disturb my foundation. But maybe this is something I could reach for a little bit more later in the year when I'm not piling on so much foundation, when I'm having a better skin day, or I could even try to make it work on top of powder, possibly. I don't always have success when I try that, but maybe I could figure out a way to kind of make that work. So yeah, this one is definitely a little bit more of a challenge, but I would like to get this used up just because I've had it in my collection for quite some time. This one again has a long shelf life, 18 months. I think I've already had the product for longer than that. So yeah, I do really want to get through it. There's actually another blush from Kiko in here as well. So I don't think I'm going to completely use up both of them, but I would like to get a little bit more use out of both of them, especially when I'm not doing my makeup on camera. This product is actually discontinued. It was a limited edition product quite some time ago. This is another one that I've had for a few years. I promise it's not expired. It doesn't smell funny. It doesn't act any differently to how it did when I first bought it. But obviously if it does start to change, then I'll throw it out and not use it in the product. But it's this really beautiful blush and bronzer duo from Kiko. I feel like it took me a while to actually start using this in my collection just because I was so scared of that blush colour. It's really beautiful when you swatch it, but it does look a little bit scary if you're as pale as me. Like, look at that. You can see just how vibrant and pigmented it is. It's also quite dark. Maybe a little bit too dark for my pale skin. I feel like I could get a bit more use out of this, especially like I was saying earlier, at this time of year when I'm using a slightly darker foundation to counteract my skin redness. I can reach for a darker blush, so I can use it at this time of year. I can also use it just quite sparingly, and if I keep practicing with it, I can figure out how to get just the right amount of product on the brush to get a bit more of a sheer result. And I do really like the bronzer in here as well. The bronzer is a really beautiful, really fluttering colour on me. Just build that up a bit so you can actually see it. But it's not too dark at all, so I can definitely get a bit more use out of the bronzer. This is quite a large pan size, and it's also baked, so the product has a bit of a dome to it as well. So I don't know if I'm going to hit pan this year, but I would just like to get a little bit more use out of it. I'd like to reach for it a bit more and just make more effort to incorporate it into my makeup just because I've had it for so long. So those base products are going to be really challenging, but this next one should be a little bit easier because there's just not that much product left. So this is the Maybelline Colour Tattoo in Creme de Rose. This was one of my favourite products for a really long time. I was devastated when it got discontinued, but I have actually replaced this with another product from e.l.f. It's their Putty Eye Primer in the shade Rose, which I absolutely love, and that product actually lasts considerably better on my hooded eyes as well. It just makes my makeup last a lot longer, it stops it from creasing quite so much, and I feel like I kind of prefer that product, especially because it's a bit newer. It feels a bit easier to blend as well. So even though there's not very much of this Maybelline one left, it's still going to be a bit difficult to use this up because when I want my makeup to last the entire day, I'm going to reach for the e.l.f. one because it lasts better. So I'm going to have to be a bit more creative and figure out a way to just use this up. This one's going to be really easy, but I am going to miss this one when I use this up. So I've got a Profusion lip liner, and this is in the shade Secret Nude. I believe this was a limited edition product at the time, so you can't get this exact one anymore, but Profusion do have another lip kit now that I've seen on their website, which looks very similar to this one. This is a really lovely lip liner, so this little bit here is all I have left. I've really enjoyed using this lip liner. It's a really nice colour. It's like a light peach kind of shade, and it's absolutely beautiful. My lips are naturally very cool toned, so I've loved using this just to like warm them up a bit and to help my creamier lipsticks just last a bit longer by giving them that base of that lip liner. So I have really enjoyed this lip liner, and I think because of that I've kind of been reluctant to use it recently because I don't want to finish the product. That whole mindset is something I just need to get over. Like, it's okay to finish products, it's actually good, you know, it's what they're intended for. and I've got so much makeup that I'll still have other things to use if I use up something. So yeah, I feel like I'm going to get through this quite soon. I think it probably doesn't have that much life left to it. Even just doing that swatch has used up quite a bit of what was there. So I feel like I'm going to get through this in no time at all. I think it's got like 2 or 3 uses max in there. Pretty cool, because I don't use up a lot of lip liners, so it'll be really nice when that happens. And I've also got another kind of nude-ish lip product as well. This is a discontinued lipstick from Revolution in the shade Chauffeur. They still have other lip products in this shade, just not this exact one anymore. But this is a really lovely lipstick. This is how much I've got left, which is quite a decent amount of product actually, so I don't think I'm going to use it up completely. But I think I could definitely get a lot of use out of this. If I didn't have so much like blush product to use as well, I would try and use this up as a cream blush just to get through it a bit quicker. But I don't think I'm going to do that just because I've got the 2 other blushes in this project. I actually really enjoy wearing this. It's a beautiful, beautiful nude shade on me. So as soon as I use this up, I'll probably get one of the newer Revolution lip products in this shade, because it is such a wonderful colour. It doesn't just work for me, it works for a lot of skin tones. It's really, really flattering. I love that one. So I was thinking when I was putting together this list of products that I want to use up, it would be really nice to feature some eyeshadow on this list. I have quite a lot of eyeshadow products, but recently I haven't been wearing that much eyeshadow at all. I'm actually not wearing any today, just because it takes me so long to do my base makeup with my skin irritation that I just haven't really had the time to do eye makeup. But I would like to get a bit more into it, especially later on in the year when my skin will calm down a bit. So when I was thinking of eyeshadow to include, I thought it would be a really good idea to feature my custom eyeshadow palettes, because surely out of all my eyeshadows, that's going to be what I enjoy using the most, and if I get bored of a shade I can just swap it out for something else, so I could get quite a bit of use out of them. So I've got 2 of my custom eyeshadow palettes here. So I'll show you the Obsession one first because I think this format has been discontinued, but basically it's just some larger click in pans here. I thought these 6 would be the ones that I would set out to try and use a little bit more. I've been really enjoying this one. This is an eyebrow shade here. I've been using that quite a bit. And then there's a contour shade here. I do think that looks a little bit orange on my skin, but I want to try and make it work. I think I can make it work a little bit better if I mix it with this eyeshadow here. That's called Mink. It's one of my favourite eyeshadows actually. I really, really love this shade. It's so simple. It's just a light pink greyish colour, but I love shades like this. There's also a setting powder here which is really nice, and then there's just 2 shimmers to throw all over the lid. I probably could make them work as blush toppers as well if I really wanted to, but yeah, that's just a very basic, very boring essential palette here. And I also thought that I could maybe make a bit more of a dent in my other custom palette as well. So this one has a few shades from Makeup Revolution and ColourPop. Sometimes I keep these shades in this palette and sometimes I keep them in a larger face palette when I'm traveling with like a setting powder and some blushes and all that other stuff. But for right now they're just tucked in here, and I really, really love this particular colour selection. Of course I do, I've picked everything out myself, so of course I really like these colours. I know how to make them work. Like if I was doing an everyday look, I use that one to set the lid, I use that one in the crease, sometimes I reach for that one to smoke out the crease a bit, and if I want a shimmer I'll use this one all over the lid. I kind of know how everything works and I know what works together, so if there's anything that I could really see myself using up and not getting sick of this year, it's going to be this palette. And if I do actually get bored of any of the shades in here, I can just swap them. As long as I'm like using it and reaching for it, I don't really mind doing that. So those are my thoughts at the moment. That's everything that I'm thinking I want to try and incorporate a bit more into my routine to try and use up. Most of it I just really want to use up before it expires. And then there's some other products like the eyeshadows that I do just want to make more of an effort to use in my everyday routine. But I think it's quite a good challenge to give myself because I admit I don't use up a lot of makeup. Normally my products expire or I get rid of them in a declutter because I'm just not reaching for them. So I think it would be really nice to just get into the habit of actually using stuff up. There is some stuff I use up, obviously, like eyebrow pencils, mascaras, concealers, but I think it would be good to get into the habit of doing that with all of my makeup. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm going to keep every single product that I use up in a little box, and I'm hoping to do a video about that either at the end of this year or the beginning of next year, so I'll keep you updated as to how I get on. I really hope you guys have enjoyed watching this video. Let me know in the comments section below what products you want to use up in 2020. If you're trying to use up a few more products, if you're on a low buy like I am, let me know what you want to use up, and if you're switching up your makeup a little bit to do it. Feel free to subscribe as well if you're new around here. I make new videos every Wednesday and Sunday at 9 AM. That schedule might get a little bit disrupted due to the current climate at the moment, but I'm really hoping to stick to my schedule as much as I can, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye!